Joe Biden defending the bombing of hospitals. It actually is something that the White House had to walk back. And this is possibly one of the most repulsive, disgusting headline stories you will ever read, because this is the president accidentally, because he's 99 years old and, doesn't know his middle name. He accidentally said that hospitals should not be bombed. Accidentally said that war crimes should not be committed. This is how he phrased it. He said on Monday, he said that hospitals, quote, must be protected. Now, for you and I and anyone with half a brain, you go, of course hospitals should be protected. What are we? Of course. This is sick people and ill people and children and people giving birth and babies in incubators. And of course hospitals should be protected. What the hell's the matter with you? But then they walked back that statement. The White House had to walk back the idea that hospitals should not be bombed. This is one of the most grotesque stories I think you could ever see. So to read from the article is the CNN. The White House sought to clarify, that means walk back, comments from President Joe Biden on Monday that hospitals must be protected in Gaza. It comes as Israel defended his military action around the Al-Shifa hospital, saying Hamas has a command and control center underneath the largest hospital in the region. By the way, just to throw in here, let's assume, and there's been no proof of this, but let's assume Hamas does have or did have a command center underneath the hospital. You still can't bomb a hospital. It's against international law. It's against all of the law. It's against sanity. It's against humanity. It's against a world that makes any goddamn sense. Even if they did have something underneath the hospital, you would still not be able to justify that. But despite all that, Biden and the White House have walked back his comments that hospitals should be protected. I know I'm repeating myself, but I don't know how else to say it. It's so disgusting. It's so repulsive. It just makes you gag. I'm thinking of just distributing barf bags with this show. You can have them with you when we start every day. To continue from the article, Hamas operating this way, meaning having so-called headquarters underneath hospitals, places civilians in Gaza at greater risk, which is a tough problem for the IDF when legitimate targets are buried inside civilian industry. They're blaming the victims. They're saying to the people in Gaza, this is your fault that we're murdering all of you. And it's not their fault. You're fine if you want to say it's the Hamas fighters' fault for attacking on October 7th. Now, of course, that's ignoring decades of history of everything Israel has done to them, living in an open-air prison being just one of the crimes against them. But still, let's say, okay, it's Hamas fighters' fault. That is not everybody in Gaza's fault. In fact, it is a tiny percentage of the people in Gaza. So if you it's called collective punishment. It's against international law, and it is a genocide. It is horrific. And now here is the White House walking back the idea of hospitals must be protected. Honestly, this is one of the grossest headline statements, moves, propaganda, what have you, that you will see. Just truly horrific. Okay, so, and I don't have more actually in a few moments about the CNN coverage of that hospital and the idea that there's a Hamas base underneath, etc. By the way, during questioning in the press conferences, they were asked multiple times, do they have any evidence that Hamas was underneath that hospital? And the U.S. government has dodged that question over and over again because apparently they don't have evidence.